So here we are at Moscow Leningradsky station, taking the high-speed line from Moscow to St. Petersburg. The Sapsan train was originally initiated in 2009, has cut the journey time down from, say, a day and a half to just on 3 hours and 50 minutes. Looking forward to it. It's -5. The journey begins. This is one of the main bridges in St. Petersburg. They're experiencing one of the earliest freezes for the last sort of 20 years. Nobody can believe the snow has been this bad. If you look behind us, you can see where the river, which goes into the sea, is actually frozen. See the tracks of the icebreaker that goes across. We're right by the Winter Palace here. If we look at the Winter Palace to our left-hand side, it looks absolutely fantastic in the snow. So St. Petersburg has been done. Now we move on. So here we are at St. Petersburg station, Moscow station, going back to Moscow Leningrad station. We've had a good day in St. Petersburg. We should have been 2 hours earlier, but unfortunately we missed the train due to me getting the times wrong on the tickets. So we have our bitter lemons to be accompanied by some soft drinks, and we'll be back in Moscow at 11 o'clock. Here we are at Moscow Stansky station, about to embark on the Trans-Siberian train. 5 days on a train, all the way to Irkutsk in Siberia. A lot lays in front of us, a lot lays behind us. Best of all, it's going to be cold and snowing. Well, here we are, safely boarded on the Trans-Siberian Express. We seem to have 2 companions for the 4 days on the journey. This is our room, this is our bed, this is our setup for the 5 days. We're just leaving the suburbs of Moscow, heading out towards Kazan, towards the east. And there'll be more updates as we go along. First stop on the Trans-Siberian, Vikovka, 125 miles east of Moscow. All the sellers and all the tradesmen are coming to sell away. You can buy anything from a chandelier to a cuddly toy, some teddy bears, and there's some people selling some ornate vases, glasses, just the sort of thing you need to take on the Trans-Siberian Express. Every home should have one. In fact, there's just a stuffed parrot just going past there, I think, as well. It's starting to get cold, temperature's starting to drop. We get to stretch our legs for about 20 minutes, back on the train. Life on board the Trans-Siberian Express in the buffet car. We're on day 2 of the journey. We're about 40 minutes from Drazino, which is one of the big stops where we stop for 50 minutes. Temperature outside is about -10. We've left behind a lot of the forests. We're now into the open countryside. We've moved into another region of Russia, and I'm just about to sample a typical Russian meal on board the buffet car. Here we are at Drazino, which is the first big stop on the Trans-Siberian Railway. They're spending the dirt while we're waiting for sort of 50 minutes to knock the ice off the train underneath because it's got so frozen. There's a nice dog eating something here on the floor, and we're just about to go off and exploring the time we have available. Here we are in Ekaterinburg, hosting 2 matches for the World Cup in 2018. Temperature's about -12, -13. A very good metro system downstairs, and they also have a very nice anti-tram system. Nice 5-star hotel, and the just in our back. Here are in Omsk, in the middle of Siberia, about 5:58 in the morning. It's really cold. Nice coffee to warm us up. We continue on to Irkutsk. We're in Barabinsk. We've got a 30-minute stop here. We're now in the deepest of Siberia. The temperature over there shows an incredible -25. That's the sort of temperature where long-term exposure to that sort of weather doesn't help you at all. So we're going to just try and do a little bit of exploring. There's a lovely engine. Thank you very much. There's a lady just asking us for some money. Thanks so much. And the train's over there. Thank you. Which is in the heart of Siberia. You look out and you see these fantastic lakes that are completely iced over for the winter. It's quite poignant as well. This is the area where a lot of Russians were sent to what they call the gulags, which happened from the 1920s right through to the 1950s. The estimates on the number of people that were sent to the gulags varies depending on where you take your information from, but it's quite poignant thinking that the train that we're travelling on, the Trans-Siberian, was used to transport those poor unfortunate people to the gulags. You could be sent to the gulag for a number of different reasons. You could have been an academia, you could have been a writer, you basically could have said that you didn't know what happened. Well, here we are in Novosibirsk, which is the capital of Siberia. We've done 2/3 of the journey, we've got about another third to go. We have a 50-minute stopover in the bar, so we found a nice bar, nice bit of music, nice bit of company, and we feel human for the first time in 3 days. Day 4 Trans-Siberian, we've stopped at a place called Ilangsa. We're about 3/4 of the way across, about 700 miles to go to Irkutsk. One of the staple products, if you like, of Siberia is coal. Everywhere you go, you see coal, and you can see wagon after wagon full of coal. We're just going to get back on the train. It's not so cold today, about -22. So here we are in Zimmer, which is the last big stop before we get to Irkutsk. -25, nothing really much here apart from the station and this fantastic item. So here we are coming into Irkutsk, 5 days on a train. 4 time zones, 3,000 miles, the longest continuous rail journey in the world. We now reach Irkutsk, where the train diverges, one way to China, Trans-Mongolian, and the other way to Vladivostok. We will be travelling again by train in 2 days' time. Yeah, we've done it. We've arrived in Irkutsk, day 5. 2:30 in the morning, very happy to be off the train. New part of the adventure begins. Goodbye Trans-Siberian Railway. So we've taken a stop from our Trans-Siberian adventure before we go on to Mongolia. We're staying at a place called Lysvyanka, which is one of Russia's premier lakeside resorts in deepest Siberia. It's about -29, -30 today. We're down on the front, it's completely deserted, it's too cold for people to go out, and this is Lysvyanka. So here we are in the Hotel Lysvyanka in their spa and sauna area. As you'll see, we've both been told to wear these hats, which apparently aid the experience. So now we're going to have a sauna and a spa, and we're going to see if these hats will end up just doing the business for us. Donna Still and Windsor Davis. So here we are this morning on Lake Baikal in Lysvyanka. The temperature is a jaw-dropping -29, we think, and the sea is actually starting to freeze behind us. We move off today to Mongolia and see -32, -33 temperatures. We're here in the city centre of Irkutsk. This is the river that flows from Lake Baikal to the city centre. This is where the city was founded, and it took a year to find the city. Over here we have some of the, by the look of it, the dockyards. You see the steam on the water, that's actually where the water is slightly higher temperature than the land, and gradually the river is going to freeze. So here we are on the Trans-Mongolian train going through to Ulaanbaatar. We have our dinner ready Mongolian style, which consists of gin and some bits and pieces. We've made our beds, and I'll be honest, I think we're really ready for the night involved. We don't seem at the moment to have anybody in the compartment, which is interesting to say the least. So we're going to try and get some food down our necks, and then we're going to start looking forward to the journey to Ulaanbaatar all the way to Asia. We're at the first stop on the Trans-Mongolian. It's one of the ones on the timetable that says unknown. We've got some friends here with us, 3 lovely bears, look at those, and we have got the most amazing situation. We've got lots of Mongolian army recruits coming past us here. I think we're getting very, very, very close to the Mongolian border. As you can see, all going to the front line. It's quite incredible. We're near the border between Russia and Mongolia. The scenery has become something of fascinating, desolate beauty. The trees look like they've been dipped in white paint, and the actual rivers are frozen, but we can actually see just here the ice is moving. The ice is in a hurry, it's moving. The waters are freezing, ready for the knuckling down of the winter sun. Here we are, officially on the Russian and Mongolian border. The sign sums it up quite nicely, east. There is nothing else left to go but the east. You can't leave the station because you have to be on the border patrol, attention of the zone and border control. So the train's now stopped for 2 to 3 hours. They're going to change and put a Mongolian engine on the front of the train. This is Nishkersh, which is the actual border. So we've got about 2 hours and 55 minutes to enjoy ourselves at the station. Well, here we are. We're still at Nashki at the border, waiting for the Trans-Mongolian train. This is the waiting room, which you can see hasn't got many passengers going on to Mongolia. We're trying to have a picnic lunch this afternoon, so we've got some nice fresh bread and some cheese spread, and we're using the razor to spread. And we've got a couple of beers. And the most bizarre thing is there's nothing at the station at all, but I've actually managed to have a haircut in a barber's at the station. We've come out the station getting ready to board the Trans-Mongolian train to find that the train has gone. It's just this. This is all we've got left. This is it. We appear to be the only two people going to Mongolia. We've lost the engine, we've lost the back of the train, we've lost the front of the train, and even better than that, we've got three-legged dogs. Here we are in Ulaanbaatar, just arrived, minus 36, very different to Russia. This is the mountains where we're going to be living for a few days. It is rather cold, as you can see the sun's just coming up, and there's the yurts in the background. It's quite astonishing, the scenery. There is just nothing else out here other than us. We've arrived in our yurt in the national park about an hour and a half outside of Ulaanbaatar. This is our house for 3 days. It's actually surprisingly roomy, and it's not too bad at all. It is probably about minus 40 out there today, and we're just going to have a little view outside. And there is the view. You absolutely couldn't make it up. The sun is just rising over the hills. China just lays beyond those mountains over there. Right, we're here on the yurt. We've just come out for a walk just to break up the monotony of the day. There's nothing else to do. We've come down to the main road. You can see we are pretty remote. We're the only people here other than the support staff. And yeah, we're going to go back to the yurt very soon just to keep warm. It's very easy entrance to the yurt. Our yurts are up there, and that's pretty much all there is here. We've been asked by many people how we survive in 2 days with each other in a tent in the middle of the Mongolian mountains in the middle of the winter with about minus 40 temperatures. Well, it's quite easy. We get on really well. We talk. We just walk around here. We pace around. We went out for a walk this afternoon, and they sent a search party for us. And that's it. And then we talk some more.
Grow beards.
And we grow beards. Fun. Good morning. We've survived our second night in the yurt. It's about minus 35 today. It's been worth it just to see this fantastic scenery and this panoramic view of mountains, solitude. The sun is rising on another day, and we're just enjoying the ambience of the peace and the quiet. There is nothing out here at all. Just us, some support staff, our yurt, and the mountains behind us. At the back here are the soldiers. Each of those figures is going to represent one of the 100 soldiers that Genghis Khan took out of the wilderness. At the moment, they're still building them. And as you can see, the statue itself is absolutely impressive. It cost £4.1 million and was funded entirely by a Mongolian-American billionaire to try and honour the achievements of Genghis Khan, taking the Mongols out of oppression from the Chinese and leading them into the sort of future. And then the mountains in the backdrop are very, very impressive. This is quite an incredible statue. It's 160 foot high from the base to the very top of the crown, and we're going in to see it. Well, we're now here at the Kopinski in Ulaanbaatar. We've survived 2 days out in the mountains in the harsh terrain. We had 2 days at Lake Baikal in Lisvyanka before that, and we had obviously 2 days on the Trans-Mongolian and 5 days on the Trans-Siberian. This is a little bit of rest and recovery time. Kopinski is a very excellent hotel chain. We'd fully recommend it for your clients if they're looking for something slightly different. But this is the personal thing you need to get yourself into the heart of Beijing. For a society so technical as China, to absolute amazement, you can't pay by credit card anymore. You can only pay by cash. A very kind Chinese gentleman gave us the money to pay for our airport passes. We're here in Tiananmen Square in the heart of Beijing. Huge square. We've got different sides, different buildings. You've got Chairman Mao's mausoleum in the background here. We have the National Museum of China here. And way off in the distance over there is Forbidden City. We're just going to have a look around, take it easy. It's a lovely day here in Beijing. So we just arrived in Sri Lanka in Colombo at the Full Moon Hotel, about 10 minutes from the airport. This is our third country in a day: Mongolia, China, Sri Lanka. Flew here courtesy of Sri Lankan Airlines, excellent service, always at competitive fares. We just got a small stopover for about 6 or 7 hours at this hotel before we continue on to our final destination, which will be India. Weather is about 30 degrees, a change from -35. So here we are, fourth country in actually 24 hours. We've just arrived in Delhi, one of my favourite parts of the world, India. I love it. Just look at the madness, absolute chaos. Everybody loves us, especially people from Britain, and we're absolutely happy, and we're on our way to the cricket eventually. Here we are in the absolute chaos in Delhi near the station, which is where we depart from tomorrow, and we go up towards Shimla on the mountain railway. It's fantastic. India is always a contrast of colours, noise, excitement, and this is a typical street scene in Delhi midweek. It's fantastic, and this is what makes India tick. Just look at it. Red, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Here we are at Delhi Station on the next part of the journey with Arajet from Incentive Destinations, one of the clients that we've used for nearly 8 years. They look after everything Indian-wise. If you need any advice on India, you speak to these guys. And we're just about to start the new journey. So here we are at Hancock station, which is the start of the Shimla Mountain Railway, which the Indians call toy trains. We're booked on the Himalayan Queen, which is going to take us about halfway up into the Himalayas. The train is getting ready to go, very busy. The Indians run their toy trains like a heritage service, but it's part of the normal working timetable. And this is the famous Himalayan Queen train. So we're now off up into the mountains. Okay, so we're here on the Shimla Railway, coming from Calcutta up to Shimla. We're travelling halfway. We've met a really nice young man called Shumda, and he has kindly provided us with some rum to see the journey out. And as you can see, we're now starting to enjoy the scenery. We're rising very highly, and everybody's having a good time. And we're just going to pan round, and we're just going to have a look.
Okay. Yeah, now look at the looks. Now look at the looks.
Yeah.
Here
we go. And there's some more there. Oh. Oh. This is Dharmapur. This is the Whispering Winds Hotel in breakfast time from the balcony, just looking as the sun's coming up over the Himalayas. Start of another fantastic day, and we're going down the valley all the way to China. Glorious, happy and glorious, long to reign over us. God save the Queen. Come on, England! First ball, here we go. Oh. So here we are at one of India's most iconic monuments, the Gateway to India, which stands outside the Taj Mahal Palace, one of India's most famous hotels. Absolutely fantastic. It sums up the spirit of India. It's the most amazing place. The sounds, the noise, the buzz, fantastic. We are at Mumbai, or in Mumbai on a Saturday night, sampling their legendary bar scene. Everyone's having a good time, no problems. Westerners mixing with